activities. Then the project activities, they will have another 30%. So they will need to demonstrate what we do, and their design, their implementation, and then demonstration, report writing, all these things will be 30%. So 70%, and then of course there is a final exam on this unit. So this unit is a final year unit as well as a master level unit. So we have master's program, which basically international students coming from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, China, and so on. So they also do this unit. This unit I have also allowed the students to join online. So some of my students are stuck in India as well as in China. We are allowing them to do this unit using online facility. I will now tell a project which is a part of this master's study unit, master subject, and they have done using this unit. So this is called sensor node for smart city. Sensor nodes for smart city. So usually our target is to monitor or count people going through the footpath, and also to monitor or measure ambient parameters such as temperature, humidity, and so on. So in order to count the people, we have different types of arrangement, but we have used PIR sensor. PIR sensor is the passive infrared sensor, also called pyroelectric sensor. There are some requirements that it should be low cost, it should be low power, it should have the detection ability, and also it will not provide any identity. It will not intrude the privacy. So of course you can have camera, RFID tag, Wi-Fi reader, or by having people to count, but those are not feasible. So we use passive infrared sensor. And what we did, this sensor system will be installed on an electric pole at a height of 4 meters, and it should not be able to monitor, count any pet. So suppose people walking with the dog, dog should not be counted. So we have adjusted the focal length, and we monitor the environmental parameter using environmental combo, where we can get temperature, humidity, pressure, carbon dioxide, and total volatile organic compound. And they are all interfaced using I2C bus with the microcontroller. So electronics, what we need here is that Arduino, then of course PIR sensor, environmental combo, and as we all know that we cannot use electricity, so we have to use rechargeable battery and the solar panel for charging the battery. And we use LoRa because we have installed that in the university and outside university, and we want to collect the data in the cloud. So that LoRa is the best because LoRa gives almost 2 to 3 kilometer range. Ideally you see in paper or in report 10 kilometer and above, but usually don't get 10 kilometer, you get 2 to 3 kilometer. And we use Arduino, which is operating at 915 megahertz, which is the LoRa frequency. Of course, we all know that ISM band we talk about 2.4 gigahertz, industrial, scientific, and medical band, but here LoRa use 915 megahertz. And the battery we use is the polymer lithium battery, 3.7 volt, 6000 milliampere hour. And also we need to use antenna. And this is the inside of the system, electrical connections. And this is the result PIR sensor give. So when we measure, it gives a transition signal from 0 to high, and we monitor. And this width usually like 0.8 second. But sometimes if we have two people coming one after another, then the width changes. Then how do we know how many? So we implemented a algorithm, and that algorithm tells us how many people. So the smart algorithm help us to monitor more accurately. And another important thing is that how much is the battery life. So sometimes it happens that you may not have enough sunlight to recharge the battery. Solar panel may not give power. So sometimes we may have very gloomy weather. So how many days you can work with your fully charged battery? So we have seen that our 6000 milliampere battery can give us 4 days backup, because we monitor and we upload the data every 10 minutes or so. So then it gives us 4 days backup. And this is the network architecture. We have the sensor node, gateway, putting the data in the cloud. Once you have the data in the cloud, then you can actually mix any kind of visualization, any kind of processing, or you can also make different apps. So these are the installed sensor. We started in the beginning by 3D printing, but 3D printing took long time. So later on we changed. So this is our first prototype, but later on we change and we make box. So that's the solar panel, and that's the sensor node. Solar panel, sensor node, solar panel, sensor. So this is in different parts of the university and outside the university. So we have 70 nodes working outside the university area, and this was a project, funded project done by the students, started with the students, and then of course we use our project to implement. So as you can see, the accuracy what we get for the monitoring is very good, almost 99%, by using some intelligent algorithm. And different data we can see over the time. What we could see interestingly, that during pandemic, before pandemic, after pandemic, there is a difference, and which can be very easily connected and explain the effect of the pandemic, how it can affect the people's life. So I'll be happy to take some questions here. So effectively what we do, we try to make our teaching innovative and interesting for the students. And the whole idea is to make the students more engaged. Of course, there is no alternative of conventional methods, but in order to make the students' engagement and the learning more effective, there is always important to think of some innovative way of teaching. And that also give us the retention rate, that means dropout rate can be reduced drastically. And the hands-on will make the students ready for the job market, because the industry like the students to know much better than before and then come to the industry straight away giving output. So innovative teaching always help that to happen. So I'll be finishing here, and I'll be happy to take any comments and questions from the audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Subhash, for this informative session on innovative teaching methodology for effective learning. Definitely, our audience, our participants too must have been benefited, and you have shared, yes, sir. And you have really shared the innovative techniques which have been put to use there in Australia. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request our participants to kindly put forward their queries if they have any. So if the participant would like to ask anything, they are requested to kindly unmute themselves and put forward their queries. You are following a very practical approach there, sir, which you have discussed here in this session, sir. I mean, definitely the students too must have been benefited if they are doing it themselves.
Yeah, it's always like a trade-off between the time and the students' interest and how the infrastructure you have. Many times infrastructure can be a bottleneck, but what we are doing, we do not need too much infrastructure. So that's important, because otherwise you will not be able to get the support from the school or the college to make this happen. So if you think of the electrical and electronic systems, you do not really need too much actual infrastructure. And these days, students are more inclined to learn how they can make use of their knowledge in the area of the electronics based systems and IoT based systems. So it's very, very useful.
So you are applying this IoT systems in electrical domains, sir?
Yes, yes. Basically, if you see, the IoT is not that just analyzing the data, because you have to get the data, no? Otherwise, IoT will not be IoT, because if you have the offline data, that is not IoT. So that's the mistake many people do. So what we are doing is that we are generating that data, so students get the feeling from starting, where you measure the data and you are uploading the data to the cloud, the same data. So that's like a real connections. So they get much more excited to work in this area.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. But then, how can you relate this with the machines, sir? Like, how do you get this online data from for the machines? Like, if you're talking about electrical machines.
So it all comes down what you are actually monitoring.
Yes, sir.
So effectively, like for example, one of my, or two of my students doing project, they want to monitor the wave energy. How much is the wave energy they could extract from the waves? So we are developing a IoT based system so that they could develop, that IoT design, and they could see everything on their phone, on their mobile phone. So that type of applications they are thinking of doing. So
So,
it can be electrical system, but at the end, when you actually measure using the sensor and instrumentation, then it coming in the domain of IoT.
yes, sir. So they will be developing some app also for this, or will it
Yes,
be?
yes. So as you can see, I was talking to my unit unit sketch. So they will be, yeah. So they will be, so they will be developing some apps. So when they will learn everything after 7 8 weeks, they will also learn some development of apps.
Mm.
So they will learn in the as a part of the unit. And students actually, some of the students go out of the way to do much more.
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, nowadays this is an era of automation because nowadays focus is on this automating everything, like you have discussed. So it is very useful for the students. Only thing is they need to do programming little bit and be aware of the latest because machine learning concept and this has just recently come to India.
Yeah, and but it is even though recently coming to India, but what happened, the rate at which it is, applications are happening is very, very fast. So
Yes,
it's
sir.
important for the students to know and how you can use the AI and machine learning in different applications. You know, if the students can know a little bit of that, then they will be finding very, very useful in the industry as well as in their future life.
So you have got some funding also from this for carrying out these projects like from some agency.
Yeah, yeah. So what happens sometimes? Sometimes the teaching part you do not need to think of any funding, but if you want to do project, so for example, in the smart city project, we got some funding. So this one, what we did as a smart city project, it was a funded project. So because if you want to make some systems and use, so this one like a big system, we developed 70 nodes, okay, and each node cost us some money and then installation, maintenance. So we had some funded project for that. But that funded project comes from the outside the university. But if you think of any subject you are teaching and the amount of resources you need, then we get the money from the university.
So you are the founding chair of IEEE Central Council New South Wales chapter. So I am also one of the senior member of IEEE. So I just wanted to know, like, what all activities are you performing in this chapter, sir? In this New South Wales chapter, IEEE Sensor Council, sir. Like the
We do a lot of activities. For example, we organize the lectures by the distinguished lecturer of the council. So, I had last month I had a lecture by given by Professor Enakshi Bhattacharya of IIT Madras because he is the distinguished lecturer. This next week we are having a talk by one professor of from Oxford University. I think I can send you the link. I think it's the 9th of March. We
yeah.
also do workshop face to face where the students and people come and give their talk. Then we do the women in sensor activity, and we also do student project competition. So this type of activity we do. Last year we did 21 activities in the whole year.
Okay, that's a huge number, sir.
So it because actually this coronavirus pandemic allowed us to do many activities using online.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that is useful, no? Because earlier days, you see, I'm a distinguished lecturer, but if I want to deliver a talk, I have to travel.
Yes,
But
sir.
now I don't need to travel. I can be in Sydney and I can deliver the talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks to Corona, sir. That is the reason. Even we could invite, sir, number of distinguished professors from lot many places. Like, sir, we have one professor from South Africa, and he'll be joining us tomorrow, sir, for a session. So, and we are planning other activities also. So, IIT Kanpur and IIT Madras, lot of professors are joining us for the sessions. So we
Yeah, I
could.
have seen your delegates as well as the speaker. Yeah, it's a very good collections.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So we have people from all over India and abroad, sir. So because of Corona, we could get these resource persons. Otherwise, it was very difficult if we had to conduct it in offline mode, sir. Then
Yeah,
seeing,
I understand that. That's right. I mean, I see the positive of the corona that way. That's really useful.
yes, sir.
I mean, of course, the corona has made our life very bad, and a lot of people lost their job and many problems. But only positive I see is that people can do many things being at home.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's one of the positive, and this giving lecture.
So is it Corona coming up again there in Australia, sir?
Australia is under much more control because if we have a single case, the things become very different. The whole area will be under lock. So
Okay.
you cannot actually imagine compared to India because we do not have a single case here.
Okay. So have you been vaccinated, sir, in this for this Corona vaccine has been given, sir?
It's coming in phases. So like I'm mid 50s, I will be waiting for some time. So it's coming in phases. So first is the healthcare people are getting,
Yes,
and
sir.
then elderly people will get. So when I will get maybe around June.
Okay, sir. But initial symptoms are when you're getting the vaccine here in India, it is like initially you get fever and other things, body ache once you get the vaccine, and there are something like two vaccines which you have to take with a gap of 1 month. So
Yeah, that's true.
that is why. So thank you
I don't
so
know because I did not hear anything bad though. Those who are vaccinated, so I'm not sure.
much. Yes, sir. So thank you, sir, for this informative lecture, sir. I'm definitely sure that our participants too must have been benefited. And as of now, there are no queries, sir. In future also, we'll trouble you more, sir. Thank you so
That's fine. Just so if you ask me, just give me some time because this was a little bit short
much.
time.
Yes,
So
sir.
sometimes you might be a little bit annoyed with my reply, but unfortunately
No,
quite
sir.
busy.
No, sir. It's fine. Actually, I'm little bit more tense, you can say. So, no problem, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. So it's my pleasure and thank you very much. And I wish the whole workshop will go well and wishing you all the best and success for your effort. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now I request my participants to kindly put on their attendance in the attendance register link, which is shared in the chat box, and it has also been shared in your WhatsApp group. So kindly put on your attendance. And our next session will be starting shortly by 11:45. Dr. Amar Patnaik from MNIT will be joining us, and he's also one of the distinguished professors and who has made a mark in this field. So I request the participants to kindly stay online and just be there. And yes, the feedback link will be shared with you very soon. I'll be sharing. So in case you have any other query, you can get back to us. Dr. Subhash sir, I request your PPT if you could share it with us so that I can give it to the participants. Because as per AICT norms, we have to take their test on the last day, sir, based on the PPTs. Although
Yeah,
you
I
shared,
will. I
sir.
will send it to you now. Let me see how much is the memory size, but I will send it to you now.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Okay. And I will now go out of the meeting. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you for coming down. Thank you. Sir, I request one more minute from you, sir. We can have a group photograph with the participants of yours, sir. I request the participants to kindly switch on their camera for a group photograph. I request the participants to kindly switch on their camera, sir, for a group photograph. Sir is still here with us. I request the participants to kindly switch on their camera. This photograph will go in the newspaper. So thank you so much. Please put on your camera. I request the participants to kindly switch on their cameras. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Just stay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Subhash. Thank you for sharing and giving us your valuable time. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Goyal. Thank you.
I request the participants to kindly stay online. Our next speaker will be joining us shortly.